Heyo. You know, when you're a wrestling fan, you're going to get the question all the time of who's your favorite wrestlers? And you'll get a variety of different answers for a variety of different reasons. So here's my six pack and the reason for them. Number six, Triple H. I was shocked when Triple H made my top six. I honestly was. Because when I was thinking about this list, when I was putting it together, I was thinking about, because like my top three or four was easy. That was no problem. But when I started to get deeper, it was like, okay, whose matches do I really enjoy the most? Whose matches do I really enjoy? Like, whose matches have the best rewatch quality? And Triple H kept coming into and kept coming to the forefront of my brain because I would think of matches that I would really really like, and you would have like Triple H versus Cactus Jack in the street fight at the Royal Rumble. Um, then you think of really good feuds. The feud with Shawn Michaels was top notch wrestling, man. The feud with The Rock was great. Um, his match against The Undertaker in WrestleMania 17. I think that one's actually better than the two they did in the later Manias, really. But yeah, Triple H makes my six pack. Triple H is in at six. Triple H always put on phenomenal matches, and he's a he is a student of the game. The game, Triple H. He is a student of old school wrestling, man. He would incorporate shit that you hadn't seen in years. Like I remember in it was WrestleMania 19 when he wrestled Booker T. This dude broke out the Indian Deathlock. And ain't nobody seen the Indian Deathlock in 20 years, man. He would incorporate little subtleties that like Harley Race would do like back in the 70s, like with that running knee and shit like that. Triple H was top notch, man. I don't think he really gets his props on a lot of people's top list, man. So yeah, Triple H made my top six. Number five, Roddy Piper, man. Roddy Piper was a force of fucking nature. Now, was Roddy Piper like the greatest in ring professional wrestler you'll ever see? No, man. But Roddy Piper would make you feel like for real. Like Roddy Piper probably brought out more emotion in wrestling matches than any other person on the planet ever did, and probably ever will. Piper was great, man. Um, he could make you love him, or he could make you start a riot. You know, he's probably the greatest talker in the history of professional wrestling. Some people would say Dusty Rhodes. Some people would say Ric Flair. And I mean, those are really good. Those are really good answers and valid answers. I can't say you're wrong. But for me, Piper was the best talker ever, man. For real. Like, you go back and watch those Piper Pit segments. Man, the most entertaining shit on that television at times. Piper was awesome. My favorite Roddy Piper match was WrestleMania 8 with him and Bret Hart. That was a fucking clinic. And he showed you right there when a lot of other stars of that era, like your Hogans and I can't say Flair because Flair did put people over. But like when you got guys like Hogan that would fight tooth and nail and wouldn't lose matches, man. Piper had a reason he didn't lose matches. And he had a good reason because he was the heel. And Piper knew if he lost matches, that would automatically take away from from whatever his value was, man. So yeah, Piper didn't do a lot of fucking pins at all. So when he put Bret Hart over, that meant something. It really did. So yeah, Piper's in at number five for me, man. I love Roddy Piper. Number four, Macho Man Randy Savage, bro. Macho Man was cool from the way he talked, from his outfits, man. Just everything about Savage was cool. I fell in love with the Macho Man like right when I first started watching wrestling. I'm gonna post a video about my story about loving professional wrestling sometime very soon to this channel, man. But like the first time I saw Savage, the first time I was hip to Savage was WrestleMania 3. and that match with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which will just live forever as like the pinnacle moment that WrestleMania was like the thing. I mean, yeah, Hogan and Andre drew him in the building, but Savage and Steamboat stole that whole fucking show, man. Um, the feud with Diamond Dallas Page was great shit. Like just like Roddy Piper, man, Randy Savage showed you how to get somebody over and to push that next generation of stars, man. He showed you. Um, the feud with Flair was awesome. Like the WWF stuff was good, but man, when they got into WCW, they turned that shit up another level. Like that Great American Bash match he had with Flair, I think it was the Great American Bash '95. I'm pretty sure I could be wrong on that, but I think it was 1995. That match was just something else, man. That match was good, and honestly, for as much as Randy Savage did in WWF, his run in WCW was just as good. It really was. He didn't lose a step, man. He really didn't. And when in the WWF, when he transitioned over to commentary, I thought Savage was a good commentator, man. Savage was entertaining. Savage was entertainment, and he was a wrestler, man. So Savage was the best of both worlds. Macho Man, and at number 4 for me, man. Number 3, CM Punk. Just like Roddy Piper, CM Punk is a lightning rod. He can talk you into the building. He will make you care. Well, whatever he's doing, whether you hate it or you love it, he's going to make you care about it. Period. I was a CM Punk fan kind of from a distance because I didn't really watch a lot of Ring of Honor when that was like when he was ruling Ring of Honor. I would get like tapes in it. I would get like tapes of it, like, but I wasn't a regular viewer. But what I saw, I liked. When he first came into WWF or WWE, I'm sorry, dude, I still hate calling it that. But when he first came into WWE, he was brought into the ECW was kind of their developmental at the time. It really was because WWE had rebrand, were like taking the ECW brand and like made it their developmental. I kind of thought it was a watered down version of what I saw in Ring of Honor, and I really don't think Punk really caught his ground till the Straight Edge Society. That's when he started to really see that Ring of Honor Punk, and you really started to get like the different layers of CM Punk, man, and then the pipe bomb. That's what just blew him up. That way, man, when his contract was coming to an end in 2011 and he was frustrated and he probably was not going to re-sign at that time, man. WWE gave him a live microphone on a Monday Night Raw and said, go air your grievances. Man, did he ever. That pipe bomb promo is still one of the greatest things you'll ever watch. Look, just get on the YouTube machine and type in CM Punk pipe bomb and just sit back and prepare to have your mind fucking. He was the absolute best thing about AEW, and Tony Khan will forever be known as the guy that chose the Young Bucks over CM Punk, because since CM Punk's come back in 2023, man, it's like he's just a whole nother beast. Just his level of relevancy has just skyrocketed, man. He is like one of the top 3 guys in that company right now, without a doubt, and he's top 3 in my list, man. CM Punk, my 3rd favorite wrestler of all time. Number 2, Eddie Guerrero. If you ever watched Eddie Guerrero wrestle, you watched somebody do what they were born to do. Eddie Guerrero is probably the best. I mean, and I'll say, and this is my opinion only. But man, as much as I am a Bret Hart fan, it's hard for me to say Bret Hart was better than Eddie Guerrero. For real, Eddie Guerrero might be the most gifted professional wrestler to ever fucking live. Like in ECW and WW or WCW, you saw it. You saw like the in ring, like just gifted, could do anything in the ring. But then when he got to WWE and started the whole Latino Heat thing, you saw the entertainment value that Eddie Guerrero had. Eddie Guerrero was a funny ass dude, man. And then when he got into the lie, cheat, steal stuff, when he would hit his opponent, like the referee's back would be turned, and he would hit his opponent with the belt and then lay the belt down in the middle of the ring, and then he would lay down so the referee wouldn't know who hit who. Or like, he would hit somebody with a low blow, but then he would act like he got hit with a low blow, so the referee never know who really did it. Eddie Guerrero was a funny dude, but in the ring, Eddie Guerrero was a wrestling fucking machine and could do absolutely anything. I call Eddie Guerrero God's gift to professional wrestling, and that's the truth, man. Eddie Guerrero in at number 2 on my list, and number 1. I mean, y'all already know this. My favorite wrestler of all time is Bret the Hitman Hart. From the time okay, I'm gonna expose something about myself here, man. When I was a kid, I was a Yeah, I dug the whole say your prayer. I was a little kid, and the whole presentation was cool. He had a cartoon. He had action figures. He was a superhero, man. But the older I got, I started to appreciate what wrestling was. Because when I was a little kid, everybody told me it was fake. It was fake. It was fake. I didn't believe it. Whatever. But then as I got older, I started to realize, okay, there's something going on here. These two people are working with each other, man. And I started to appreciate it for the art that it was. Man, Bret Hart was my guy. Bret Hart was that guy. He could take anybody, man, and just get a phenomenal fucking match out of it. And he would tell stories in the ring. People say Bret Hart wasn't a great promo. And granted, he wasn't a great promo until you got to 96, 97, that whole Hart Foundation shit in 97, the whole anti-American, pro-Canadian Bret Hart, those were phenomenal fucking promos, bro. Those were probably some of the best promos in wrestling at the time. I had some fish earlier. It's just not sitting right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, this too shall pass. But yeah, man, Bret Hart would tell stories in the ring. He was an artist. If you've watched a Bret Hart match, you have watched just the absolute peak of pinnacle of what professional wrestling is supposed to be. Watching Bret Hart is what wrestling is supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be presented, man. I just love Bret Hart. Favorite wrestler ever. The match with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13 is probably my favorite match ever. The match with the British, that match right there with the British Bulldog at SummerSlam 92, just, man, the SummerSlam 91 match with Mr. Perfect, the King of the Ring 94 match with Mr. Perfect, all the shit with Shawn Michaels, the Iron Man match, that's kind of a polarizing match. Some people hate it, some people absolutely fucking love it, but there's no in between on it. Either you love it or you hate it. I love that match. Yeah, Bret Hart, my favorite wrestler ever, man. So yeah, let me know who your 6-pack is. Leave it in the comments. Hit that goddamn like button. Subscribe. I'll holler at y'all later. Have a good night, guys.